We've been told that human civilization and technological advancement began only a few thousand years ago, that our ancestors were simple people, learning to farm, to build, to survive. But what if that's not the full story? What if long before the rise of Egypt, Babylon, and Greece, there existed a forgotten world, a powerful empire lost to the ocean's depths? Ancient philosophers spoke of it, explorers searched for it, and scientists still debate it to this day. A land said to possess technology and wisdom far beyond its time, cities powered by unknown energy, ships that crossed the seas with ease, and temples that touched the heavens. This was Atlantis, the mighty kingdom said to have ruled the world before a great catastrophe swallowed it whole. Some call it myth. Others believe it's the missing chapter of human history, proof that our ancestors reached heights we can barely imagine. Did Atlantis truly exist? Or is it just a story, a warning, passed down through time of pride, power, and the fall of a great civilization? Join me as we uncover the mystery of the lost city of Atlantis. In a time when God still walked among humans, there was a beautiful island that rose from the deep blue ocean. It was called Atlantis, a gift from Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea. The island was shaped in perfect circles of land and water, glowing under the sun. Tall mountains surrounded green valleys, filled with strange and wonderful fruits no other land had ever seen. Fresh water flowed from crystal springs, and the air smelled of flowers and the salty sea breeze. At the very center of this island stood the great citadel, a shining city made of white marble and gold. Its tall towers touched the clouds, and the people who lived there were unlike any others. The Atlanteans were said to be descendants of Poseidon and a mortal woman named Plato. They were tall, strong, and beautiful, with eyes that glimmered like the ocean. Their first king, Atlas, was wise and powerful, and under his rule, Atlantis became the most advanced city in the world. The Atlanteans were masters of knowledge, art, and invention. They built ships that could sail even when there was no wind, powered by glowing crystals that held the energy of the stars. Their healers could fix broken bones with a single touch, and their wise oracles spoke words from the gods. Merchants from faraway lands, Egypt, Crete, and even forgotten kingdoms, came to trade with them, bringing gold, silk, and spices. Atlantis was rich, powerful, and full of wonder. At the heart of Atlantis stood the great temple of Poseidon, the god who had given them life and power. Inside the temple was a glowing statue of the sea god, surrounded by waterfalls and crystal light. The temple's priestess, Lysara, known as the Oracle of the Tides, could speak with Poseidon himself. Her visions guided the kings and queens of Atlantis. She promised them peace and prosperity, but she also warned them of a dark future, a shadow that was growing stronger every day. The Atlanteans, proud of their greatness, ignored her warning. In the shining city of Atlantis, there lived a young man named Kale, a scholar, an inventor, and a dreamer. He was born in the outer rings of the city, where the farmers and builders lived. But Kale's mind was special, curious, sharp, and full of ideas. His brilliance earned him a place in the Academy of Light, a school in the citadel, where the brightest minds studied the stars and the secrets of ancient power. There Kale learned about orichalcum, a rare, glowing metal said to hold the energy of the gods themselves. Kale's closest friend was Myra, a brave warrior priestess from the temple of Poseidon. She was strong and fearless, with a laugh that could calm any storm. Her sword skills were unmatched, and her heart was loyal and pure. Together, Kale and Myra dreamed of exploring the world beyond Atlantis, to see the lands and seas that no one had ever reached. But duty held them back, Kale to his inventions, and Myra to her sacred vows to the sea god. One night, deep in the Academy's vaults, Kale found something extraordinary, an ancient scroll written in a language older than Atlantis itself. The scroll spoke of the heart of the sea, a crystal buried deep beneath the island. It said this crystal was the true source of Atlantis's power and wealth, but it also carried a warning. Whoever tries to control the heart shall awaken the wrath of the deep. Kale was fascinated. Myra, however, was afraid. The gods do not give such warnings for nothing, she said softly. But Kale's curiosity was stronger than his fear. He couldn't let it go. Meanwhile, Atlantis's ruler, King Thuron, had grown proud and restless. The city was already rich and powerful, but the king wanted more. He dreamed of ruling not just the sea, but the entire world. When Kale's discovery reached the royal court, Thuron believed the heart of the sea was the key to becoming as powerful as the gods. Ignoring the warnings of Lysara, the oracle of the tides, he ordered his people to dig deep into the island's core to find the crystal. The people cheered their king's vision, unaware that their greed would awaken something ancient, something waiting beneath the waves. As the people of Atlantis dug deeper into the earth, strange things began to happen across the island. The springs that once flowed with clear water started to dry up. The gardens and orchards turned brown, their fruits dying on the branches. Storms, something that almost never happened in Atlantis, began to strike the coasts with thunder and rain. Even the oracles, who once spoke the words of the gods, had fallen silent. Lysara, the oracle of the tides, went before King Thuron with fear in her eyes. "The heart is not a treasure," she warned. "It is the lifeblood of Atlantis itself." But Thuron, blinded by his greed, ignored her and laughed off her warning. Kale and Myra could no longer stay silent. They loved their city and feared what might happen if the digging continued. Torn between loyalty to their king and the truth they could feel in their hearts, they made a bold decision. Late one night, they secretly entered the deep tunnels where the miners worked. The tunnels glowed with blue light from veins of orichalcum running through the rock. It felt like walking inside a living heartbeat. At the deepest point of the island, they finally found it, the heart of the sea. It was a huge crystal, almost alive, glowing with waves of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. The sound was low and deep, like the whisper of the ocean itself. The beauty of it was beyond imagination, but the air around it felt heavy, filled with danger. Kale, unable to resist, slowly reached out his hand to touch it. Myra grabbed him just in time. "No," she shouted. "This isn't a gift, it's a warning." Before they could escape, soldiers of the king found them. The guards dragged Kale and Myra before King Thuron, who sat proudly on his golden throne. "You dare enter my excavation and defy my will," he roared. Kale tried to reason with him. "The heart is destroying Atlantis," he pleaded. "If you take it, the island will fall." But Thuron refused to listen. His eyes were full of greed and pride. He ordered Kale and Myra to be thrown into the citadel's dungeons, while he continued the search for the crystal's power. The fate of Atlantis was now sealed. When King Thuron's miners finally pulled the heart of the sea from the ground, the island began to shake. The earth rumbled like a beast in pain. The canals overflowed, flooding the streets. The mountains cracked and roared as if the island itself was alive and crying out. In the great temple, Lysara, the oracle, saw her final vision. Poseidon, god of the sea, furious with his people for their pride. His gift had been stolen, and now he would take it back. The sea would rise, and Atlantis would be no more. Deep in the dungeons, Kale and Myra heard the guards shouting about the chaos above. The ground was shaking, and people were screaming in the streets. Using Myra's strength and Kale's clever thinking, they managed to escape their cell. They ran through falling halls and crumbling walls until they reached the canals, where they found a small boat. As they rowed through the flooding city, they saw Atlantis collapsing before their eyes, golden towers falling, streets breaking apart, and the sky glowing red. High above them, in the citadel, the heart of the sea shone like a burning star in Thuron's hands. At the edge of the city, they met Lysara one last time. She looked tired but calm, her eyes glowing with the light of prophecy. "You must warn the world," she told them, placing a shining orichalcum amulet in Kale's hand. "Tell them what happened here, so humanity never forgets." Before Kale or Myra could say a word, Lysara pushed their boat into the rising current and turned to face the massive waves coming toward her. As Kale and Myra sailed away, the full fury of the ocean was unleashed. The sea rose higher than the mountains. A giant wave, black as night, crashed down on Atlantis. The island split apart with a sound like thunder. Fire and water swallowed the city together. The towers, the temples, the shining streets, all disappeared beneath the waves. King Thuron, still clutching the heart of the sea, was the last to fall, his greed drowned in the darkness below. And so the mighty Atlantis was gone, lost forever beneath the ocean, remembered only in legend. Kale and Myra were the only ones who survived. Their small boat drifted for many days across the endless sea. They were weak, tired, and heartbroken as they watched the horizon, hoping for land. Finally, they reached the shores of a distant country. In their hands, they carried the glowing orichalcum amulet and the memory of the world they had lost. Years passed, but Kale and Myra never forgot Atlantis. They traveled from city to city, sharing their story with anyone who would listen. They spoke to wise men in Athens, to priests in Egypt, and to sailors in Crete. Many people laughed and called it a fairy tale, but some believed them, seeing the sadness and truth in their eyes. The amulet became a sacred relic, passed down through generations. It reminded people of a powerful empire that had vanished beneath the sea. Centuries later, a great philosopher named Plato would write about Atlantis, using fragments of Kale and Myra's story. But the island itself was gone, buried deep under the waves. Its shining temples, its wisdom, and its warnings, all lost forever to the ocean. Atlantis is gone, but its story lives on. Was it a real place, a paradise lost to time, or a cautionary tale of what happens when ambition outstrips wisdom? Perhaps the truth lies in both. The ocean keeps its secrets, but it also speaks to those who listen. What lessons do you take from Atlantis? And what will you do to ensure its fate does not become our own? If you enjoyed this tale of Atlantis, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to add what mysteries of the ancient world should we explore next.